Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm going to make this very short and sweet. I did an intro to this video last night, but honestly it was just too long. My name is Trisha and welcome to my channel. This video is going to be a makeup tutorial on using the 3503 Fierce by Nature palette by Morphe. I sped everything up to sort of cut the time down, but I am going to voice over what is going on and I'll tell you all the products that I'm using and everything like that. There's going to be a different variety of videos on my channel, such as mental health videos, the care of reptiles, makeup, vlogs, anything that you can think of. I'm going to try very hard to do. So if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so by this point I have already put on my foundation and everything like that. So right now I am contouring and I'm using the My Own palette. I got this at Ulta. I'm just going in with a fluffy brush to go around my face and contour everything. Other than that, beforehand I used the Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation, and I also used the Maybelline Primer. So as you can see right now, I'm actually applying some highlight, trying to get it to pop, and obviously I'm talking about it, but honestly I think it looks much better just sped up. So anyway, and of course I keep on packing on the highlight because I feel like there's never enough. You can never put too much highlight on your face. And I'm just doing my Cupid's bow, which I think honestly is my favorite thing to put highlight on. I don't know why. And putting just a little on the chin area. And now that I'm done with that, I'm going to actually go in and start looking at the shades from the 3503 Fierce by Nature palette from Morphe. And there is some gorgeous shades in here. I was going to do the first shade that I was drawn to, which was the compressed glitter shade right in the very center. And I think I'm going to show it to you right here in a second. I'm going to point to it. But I actually ended up going with a metallic, kind of look like a raspberry shimmer shade, and I ended up also using a maroon and a plum shade to build up to apply that metallic shade onto my lid. And I ended up also doing a half cut crease on this, and here I'm just thinking and debating on which one I want to do. I put a lot of thought into my looks and I try to use all the colors I can, but I first started off by applying this light shade as a base for the rest of the shades, because it's a lot easier to blend if you have a soft powder base. If you just go in and use just a primer and then start packing on your shadows, it can cause some streaking and creasing, and it makes it look just not that great at all. So I always go in with a powder first. It can either be like a soft nude or even a white powder and a white shadow, anything that just works really well as a base for your blending and the rest of your shadows that you're going to apply to your lid. So now I'm going in and I swatched the main metallic shade that I wanted to do as the accent shade on my cut crease. So there it is, and it's a beautiful butter shade. There's so much pigment in this palette, it's amazing. And of course I'm talking about just how great it is. But I went ahead and picked out the other two main shades that was going to go down first as the base for everything else. And I started out with this maroon shade right here. I'm pointing to it. It wasn't necessarily a maroon shade. It was kind of like a darker maroon. I don't really know what the name of these shades are because the film that came with it got thrown away. But here I am packing this into the corner of my eye, and that is going to give me the baseline for where I'm going to start dragging in and cutting into the crease here. So I'm just going to pack these shades on, and honestly hoping and praying at this time that it looks really good, because sometimes I have my good days with makeup and sometimes I have my bad days with makeup. So we're just going to see how this goes. A lot of blending took place doing this look, which there needs to be a lot of blending in any look you do. But honestly, I really took my time, and here I am coming back with my other eye already with the same shade on there, and then I'm picking out the darker color to go on top of this, which is more of a plum shade, and I pointed to it right there. Like I said, I don't know the names, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just start packing this into the corner as well, because that's going to help give me another layout for dragging it into the crease area of my eye. So I'm just going to pack this in, and then I will do the same to the other eye as well. By the way, the brush that I am using to actually put these shadows on right now is a Profusion brush. I don't know the name of it, but it works really well for applying shadows, and I just wanted to throw that in there. Profusion has really great brushes. Okay, so at this point I've went ahead and put the darker shade on the other eye as well, and now I think it comes down to me debating whether or not I wanted to deepen the crease up with the black matte shade that was also in this palette. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yes, I decided to go ahead and deepen that crease and darken it up. So there's the shade that I'm using. And I actually went in with a very small e.l.f. eye crease brush because honestly I wanted to have more control over exactly where I put this shade. I wanted to be more limited to the crease area than spread out all over the lid. So I went ahead and started to apply that, and I'm going to also do the same to the other. Okay, so at this point I've went ahead and darkened the other crease as well, and honest to God, watching this I'm like, bitch, do you ever shut up? Like, really? But anyway, so there we go. I've already darkened the creases and it's looking really good. I decided not to do a liner with this because it was so bold in and of itself. I decided to just pop some lashes on, do my eyebrows and my lips, and I did put a little bit of a black liner on my waterline and my upper lash line, but at this point right now I'm actually going in with a True Match foundation that I also use as a concealer, and I'm going to half cut the crease here, and it takes a little bit of time for me. I'm very specific and picky on how I do it, so I just take a little bit out of the cap lid and I start cutting the crease. And for this I always have to get really up close and personal because that's the easiest way for me to get a clean and crisp line. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so at this point I have both of my creases half cut. I did go in and pat that in just a little bit, just to sort of blend it out with the black that is on the outer corner of the eye. I am going to go in with the same base shade that I put on before I started with the colors to help put a soft, smooth base down for that metallic shade that I'm going to apply in the cut crease area. And I set that using the Jeffree Star Strawberry Mist setting spray. That stuff smells amazing. I highly recommend it to anybody. And it's so like misty, like you barely feel it go on your skin. Like it's so nice and it smells so good. So right here I am putting on that clear base that I put down first. It's a very nude shade, just to give a smooth surface for that metallic shade to glide right onto and stick to. That way it doesn't crease. And I just decided to wipe away some of the fallout. There wasn't really any at all. I was going to apply it first with my finger, but I didn't have as much control over where the shade went. So I actually went ahead and used an old school tool. One of those old, like, it's an eyeshadow, like, sponge brush thing. And I used that to put the metallic shade onto the lid because I felt like I had more control of where it was going at that point. As you can see at this point, I'm obviously very happy with the outcome of that metallic shade. I believe it looks amazing with those accent colors behind it. I absolutely love the color. And now it's just a matter of just finishing the other eye, and then that is the point when I go off camera and do my brows. And I also do the eyeliner on my waterline and underneath my upper lash line. And I also do my lips. So right here, I'm showing you where I went in and put color under my eye area right there, just to sort of tie the whole look together. And get ready for the final look.
Right back. Okay, so this is the final look using the Morphe 3503 Fierce by Nature palette. As you can see, I went in and did my brows and popped on a pair of lashes and put on a liquid lip. This is actually a Vivid Matte by Maybelline, and it is the color 50 Pressed Plum. I did go around my lips with a little bit of concealer just to clean it up because it is a liquid lip, so sometimes it bleeds into your foundation. So if it's a dry lip or a lipstick, it's not that big of a deal. But for this particular one, I did go in with some concealer, and I did go in with some concealer around my brows too as well. And I went ahead and, like I said, put a black liner on my waterline and my upper lash line. Other than that, this is the finished look using that palette. First impressions of this particular palette is very, very good. The texture of the pigment and shade itself is very nice. It's very smooth and buttery. It does not feel gritty at all. The colors are super, super pigmented, as you can see. They show up very, very well. Blending was super easy. The shades are beautiful, honestly. It's a very earthy toned palette. It has a lot of like fall colors like plums, maroons, some burnt oranges, some light oranges, and a couple shades of greens in here. It has a glitter green, and it has a lot of matte shades. Like I said, I did swatch the accent shade on the half cut crease that I did, and it looks really beautiful. It's very creamy, buttery, very easy to put on, glides on, blends out beautifully. I will say that even though this palette does have a lot of fallout, I did not particularly have that issue on my face right through here. I was very careful as far as making sure I tapped the fallout out before applying it to my face. I would use all of the shades. I don't typically stick to just nude shades. I love doing big, bright, bold looks, which is another reason why I'm a big fan of Jeffree and Morphe, because a lot of their palettes have a lot of different variety of colors that are for everyday use, but that you can also use in very bright and bold looks, and that's another thing I love about them. This palette retailed for, I think I got it on sale. I think I paid $28 for this palette, and after shipping it was like $33 or something like that. But I love this palette. Very worth getting, especially during the fall season, but not just for fall. Like, a lot of these colors would work for Christmas too. Like, I think there's some, if I can get it open, a lot of like the metallic, there's a couple of metallic-y red shades, some light pinks, there's a bright pink, and a lot of these really plum and brown colors will work really good together for Christmas. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Jeffree Star X Morphe Artistry palette. I have not used this palette a lot here recently, just because I just haven't been in the mood to do makeup, but I do love the formula. Morphe's formula is really good, but Jeffree's is really, really good too. Honestly, Jeffree's formula is down to a T. Like, there's no comparing it to any other brand. I feel like his is one in a million, and it's just, and it's a wonderful formula for someone who did a lot of grungy makeup in high school. It was like, I did no beauty related makeup. It was all just grunge punky, like just to, you know, something to put on. But other than that, I love the formula. All of his pigments are wonderful, very buttery, very creamy, and easy to put on and blend. And they do not crease. Oh my god, it's like that's a big thing for me. I cannot stand the crease. But yeah, other than that, I really wanted to shine the light on the Morphe 3503 palette today in this video. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed doing it. I actually haven't done some makeup in quite a while. And oh my gosh, am I already bleeding? Yep, I was bleeding a little bit. Like I said, this liquid lip is very tricky to put on because it's a very creamy, buttery liquid lip, but it's also the kind that blends out, especially for it being the color and everything. It's really tricky to put on. It took me probably a couple tries to get it just right, but I have not swatched all of these colors on the Morphe 3503 palette. If you would like me to, please leave a comment below because I love doing swatches. Also, if you're interested in other palettes by Jeffree Star, and you want to see some swatches of those, I have the Artistry palette and I also have the Blood Sugar palette. I am planning on getting the Jeffree Star X Shane Dawson Controversy palettes, both the mini and the main palette. I'm also really wanting to get some lippies from them. And I'm also really wanting to get the Blue Blood and Jawbreaker palettes, which I have, obviously I can't just outright buy all of these palettes at once. I mean, I'm not saying they're expensive because they're not, but if you add all of those together, it would probably come out to a pretty big number. But anyway, so my next purchase is definitely going to be the Controversy and Conspiracy palettes, just because I have fallen in love with Shane Dawson and Jeffree's relationship, and I think it's wonderful that Shane has really gotten into makeup, and really both Jeffree and Shane have opened up like a whole new world for each other. It's a wonderful friendship, and I'm so proud of Shane for stepping out of his comfort zone and doing something so incredibly amazing, and it has already broken the internet, and I love it. So yes, I will be reviewing the Controversy and Conspiracy palettes when I get them. If you have any video requests that you would like me to do regarding any of the subjects I mentioned beforehand in the intro, please let me know. Like I said, not every video I do on this channel is going to be a makeup related video. It might be something about reptiles one day, something about mental health the next day. It could be just daily vlogs and makeup. It's really whatever you guys want to see, but I do want to mix a bunch of different things in there just to make sure I cover a lot of things that, you know, I want us to be personal with each other, you know, really get you involved in my life and get you involved. And I'm going to give you honest and non-biased reviews on all of the makeup that I own and that I purchase, just because I want to make sure all of you are, you know, really getting what you're looking for. And is it worth the money? Is it worth this? Is it worth that? And I will be honest, it's nothing against any of the people who make the makeup. It's just an unbiased opinion. And whether it's worth your money or not, because like me, I cannot afford a lot of these really high dollar brands that are up in the, you know, $100 and like really up there. I consider Jeffree and Morphe making high quality makeup for a cheaper price, even though it may be in the $50 ranges and sometimes maybe even a little bit more. I consider it very worth the buy, because the way that they make these pigments, they make it so you barely need any on your brush. You barely need anything out of that pan to really put that statement on your eye, and that is why they're so wonderful. They last forever. You don't have to buy another one for a long ass time. Like I said, I've had blood sugar for almost a year now, and I have not put a dent in any single pan, and I used the hell out of it when I first bought it. And I still use it. So like I said, I will be very unbiased but very honest about it and let you know if these palettes are worth the buy. If you have any video suggestions or requests and any comments below, please put them below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my channel and you want to see more from me, please subscribe. I'm going to try to do videos weekly. I'm not going to be doing videos daily just because I do work during the week. But I'm going to try to do an upload schedule probably around Fridays and Saturdays on weekends. And, but definitely any requests that you have, every single one of them that I possibly can. But anyway, just let me know if you want anything, want me to do anything specific. And just thank you so much for giving me the time of day. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.